salesperson, what is the most stressful time for you in the sales process, and what can you do about it? I'm Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California. A perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about your sales process. Now, here's the thing. Every salesperson has a different part of the process that they're scared of, that they struggle with, that they have a tough time with. And video number 2 here is rapport. And there's a lot of people out there that just have a tough time about talking about personal information. There is old school sales process and training out there that talks about F.O.R.M.A.L, family, occupation, relationship, material possessions. There's like 4 things you could talk about. I added 2 more, which is alliances and locations. And here's the thing, a lot of people screw rapport up really bad. And so this is what normally happens when I write with a salesperson. It's the me too situation. Someone says, like, you know what, I'm left-handed. And the salesperson goes, me too. And then the person goes, you know what, I like steak. The buyer says, I like steak. And the salesperson goes, me too. And then the buyer says, you know what, I fly an airplane. And the salesperson goes, me too. And like, there's going to be a point that you cannot clone yourself as much as the buyer is. And I've been in sales processes, me buying stuff, where the guy says, me too, me too, me too. And I'm like, oh, come on, this is fake rapport. Fake rapport does not work, okay? So we're going to go through the list again. You got family. You can ask the person about the family. You can tell me how things are going. Got any kids, right? But, you know, most people are going to be like, let's get this going. Like, so many salespeople talk way too much through the rapport process. And I'm not saying don't build rapport, but there's a point where the buyer's like, okay, I've had enough. Get to the goods. Let's talk about the sales. And you're going to find, especially in business-to-business sales, this is the case. Everybody talks to the guy about the trophy on his desk. Everybody talks to the guy about the picture of his wife on the desk. Everybody talks about the trophy in the background, right? You're going to find that there's a point to build rapport, and there's a point to talk about what's going on. I tend to set an agenda first, go into rapport second. It's just the way that I do it. You could be a little bit different, okay? So you got family, occupation, what do you do? Tell me about what's going on. The best question to ask is what industry you're in, not what do you do, okay? You got recreation, what do you like to do for fun? Where's a cool place that you've been? You got material possessions. You got a Ferrari? Cool, awesome, tell me about it. See, like, what the worst thing to do is be like, anytime that somebody has a trophy, and a trophy could be a physical trophy, it could be a car, it could be a big expensive watch, that's a trophy. Anytime that you say, hey, I like your trophy, but guess what? I got one too, or I got one that's better, you've just shot down the rapport process, okay? So you got family, occupation, recreation, material possessions. Once again, if you have something better than the buyer, like, leave that out. Tell them that you're happy for them. Tell them it's cool. And the 2 that I added, alliances, groups that they're associated with, and location, places that you've been, things that you've done, like, you know, where do you go for vacation? Those are locations, okay? And so salespeople really struggle with rapport, especially in the sales process. They stick too long into it if they faced a lot of objections and a lot of rejections in the past because they don't want to get to the sales process. So you really have to pay attention. If you're struggling, there's a time that you got to keep on the rapport process. And, you know, it depends upon the buyer. For some buyers, it may be 5 minutes. For some buyers, it may be 10 minutes. But what you're going to want to look for is where the person just gets really fidgety. And the person's, like, you can tell that they're annoyed. Once you hit that phase, you really got to go into presentation mode and then intertwine rapport. You got to put a little bit of rapport, a little bit of sales, a little bit of rapport, a little bit of sales. But here's what most salespeople do. Huge stack of rapport, sales process, ask for the deal, get an objection or rejection, give a discount, do a price match, make the deal, okay? If you're struggling, and this is you, just know that rapport is normal. Just go have some low-value conversations. Go to a grocery store, go to a bar. I don't know what you do, right? I don't know your age, I don't know where you're located, but just have some low-value conversations, not in the sales process. And just find out about a person, but not creepy enough that the cops show up. Just a fair warning. I worked with somebody and they were really creepy about it. Cops showed up. They're like, hey, Scott, I can't do this. The cop showed up. Like, what did you, tell me what you said. Like, oh my goodness, that's really creepy. Creepy mode, no, okay? Leave a comment or just a question in the box down below and we'll talk about it, how to build better rapport, conversations you can have, things that you can do. Now, if you've never been to my channel, you got one thing to do, just one thing. Find the subscribe button, click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update that says Scott Bell Consultant sent out a video. You should check it out, which you should. We'll see you soon. Aloha.